In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. There was one person who wanted the best seat, the very best seat. The usurper was not content to be merely magnificent. He wanted to rule. Hubris, pride, arrogance, they are located in this one angel, this one fallen angel, the father of lies and a murderer from the beginning. This is how the book of Revelation puts it. Now war arose in heaven. Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon. And the dragon and his angels fought back, but he was defeated. And there was no longer any place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. How does it feel to be deceived? Do you like it? What did Adam and Eve feel after they had eaten of the tree which God commanded them not to eat of? And besides guilt and shame and a horrible sense of loss, did they make a vow between them, a vow never to be deceived again? I wonder, do you consider yourself savvy? Are you smarter than the average bear? Are you more like Bugs Bunny, or are you more like Elmer Fudd? A fox saw a crow fly by with a piece of cheese in her beak. "That's for me," said the fox, and he walked up to the foot of the tree. "Good day, Mistress Crow," he cried. "How well you are looking today. How glossy your feathers, how bright your eye. I feel sure your voice must surpass that of other birds, just as your figure does. Let me hear but one song that I may greet you as the queen of birds." Perhaps you know the rest. The crow lifted up her head and began to caw her best. But the moment she opened her mouth, the piece of cheese fell to the ground, only to be snapped up by Master Fox. "That will do," he said. "That was all I wanted. In exchange for your cheese, I will give you a piece of advice for the future. Do not trust flatterers. You are at a disadvantage in this world. What is your disadvantage? Pride. Pride fails to see the world aright. Pride discards what is priceless for a mirage. Pride has the ability to bankrupt your soul, turning the warmth of love into a cold embrace of self. You have been misled by pride. Sadly, you have misled others. Isn't it time for that to change? People, good religious people, were jockeying for the best seats at a dinner party. Jesus was there, and he saw it. But the thing about Jesus is that he not only sees the action taking place in front of him, he sees the heart. He sees what is motivating the action, the human impulse, the drive of pride. Thanks be to God, he addresses it. Thanks be to God, he uncovers our sin and calls us to a better way, a more excellent way, a true and blessed way. And so he tells a parable about the action which is right in front of you now. He describes it perfectly. When you are invited, take the lowest seat. Now, I love good manners. I love humility. I love modesty. You do too. And there's a reason for this. The advice Jesus gives to those who had made fool of themselves in God's presence because of their pride, that advice is anchored in reality, a defining reality, eternal reality. There is one reason that humility is the queen of virtues. Who is it that came into this world and took the lowest seat? You know. It's the Son of God. The Prince of Heaven, the mighty Logos, the one through whom the heavens and the earth were created. He came and took the lowest seat imaginable. Gladly. That is his nature. The lowest seat, it's the cross, torturous and grim. Someone had to take that seat. Someone had to pay. The only way for you to be saved is by the Lord Christ taking that seat himself. And on this, Jesus is emphatic. No one takes my life from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. He humbled himself. He became obedient unto death, even death on a cross. Pride? Him? No. And that is man, as he should be. That is man seeing the world aright and then behaving accordingly. He would not be deceived by a lie. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And God exalted him. That's what St. Paul writes. God has highly exalted him. Move up higher. Raised from the dead, the incarnate Son of God takes his seat at the right hand of the Father. He goes there to prepare a place for you. Divine humility has prepared a place for you. Pride has no place there. So when God raises you from the dead, do you think that he is going to say something different from these words? Friend, move up higher. Humility trusts God implicitly. Pride trusts self. Pride is going to die. Pride will be separated from you. God will see to it. Oh, but he's seeing to it now. Even now, among us, pride is on the ropes. Do you know why? Do you know why it can't flourish here? Because we're devoted to Christ and his life. We're devoted to Christ and his word. We're devoted to Christ and his banquet. Christ crucified defeats pride. And you don't deserve to come to this table. I don't deserve to stand in his stead and to feed people, to serve people who clearly hunger and thirst for righteousness. But here we are, beggars, one and all, who have been invited by the Lord of glory to recline in his presence while he serves us. He invited you. Believe it. Honored guest, you receive the bounty of Christ's humility, his body given for you, his blood shed for you. He invites the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, poor in virtue, lame in righteousness, crippled with sin, blind to what is real. He invites us, knowing that we could never repay. How favored you are. How blessed is your name. Pride in you and me, pride around this world, wherever you see it, pride knows nothing. Pride was crucified on the holy cross. So, am I supposed to resurrect it that it may live in my heart? May it never be. Pride was buried in you when you were baptized. So, do you really want to consort with the demonic horde who despise humility and live perpetually in a cesspool of pride? Is that what you want? No. In the depths of despair over my sin, Christ has comforted me. In the troublesome noise of your guilty conscience, Christ's voice has calmed your fear, assured you of genuine forgiveness, a forgiveness that is anchored in his death and resurrection, which he endured for you. You're connected to him, and his life is in you, and it shines. You have his mind. You know what is real. You consider others more significant than yourself, and that's not just good manners. That is the product of being united to Christ. Is that not wonderful? And you know what humility did? It crushed the serpent's head. A metal spike driven through his feet. Humility endured that, and in so doing, crushed the enemy. That is real. Pride was defeated, and now divine humility serves as your host. His hospitality is something that you want to receive. The best seat? It's at our altar, prepared for you, his honored guest. Humility is king here. Christ is king here. He is among us as one who serves. And what does he say? Friend, come up higher. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.